You're the one who never lets me sleep. Turn my mind down to my soul, you touched my lips. You're the one that I can't wait to see. With you here by my side, I'm in ecstasy. I'm all alone without you. My days are dark without a glimpse of you. Now that you came into my life, I feel complete. Flowers bloom, the morning shines, and I can see. Your love is like the sun that lights up my whole world. I feel the warmth inside. Your love is like a river that flows down through my veins. I feel the chill inside. Every time I hear our music play, reminds me of the things that we've been through. In my mind, I can't believe it's true. You hold my heart, the reality is you. I am all alone without you. Days are dark without a glimpse of you. Now that you came into my life, I feel complete. Flowers bloom, the morning shines, and I can see. Your love is like the sun that lights up my whole world. I feel the warmth inside. Your love is like a river that flows down through my veins. I feel the chill inside. Your love, your love, your love, your love, your love is like a river that flows down through my veins. I feel the chill inside. Wish closer. Okay, guys, that's one more song, but it's all right. That's what's her name, Sue Ramirez. Let me remove my this is terrible. Hang on a second. I can't remove the what the heck. Hang on a second, guys, because my studio is not good. So hang on. This is terrible, really. Okay. There you go. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, let me check if I can hear myself. Okay. It's really, really hot right now, so I'm wearing white. Do I look nice? I look taba. Okay, guys, you can see my big muscles right now there. My big arm. Okay, you know, I won't get a thumbs up. So let me just check my audio again. This is something like I always do. I have to check if it's working. Well, just in case, better than okay. Okay, guys, I only got one. one viewer out of the 111 subscribers. Okay, let me check. Okay, I can hear myself now. That's good. Okay, guys, about let me find the audio evidence that I've recorded. Let me have a look. It's here. Um, where is that? Yes, I got. It's actually 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. As usual, that song "Your Love" that was by Ramirez. She's very beautiful. I love her voice and I love that song as well. Okay, guys, this is the second part of and last part of my medical COINTELPRO wherein I'm going to continue the what I've on the part one I've discussed last night about the account, how it was manipulated that I ended up in the Cumberland Mental Institution, how it was manipulated, guys. Okay, so I did already discuss the from the date of admission, July 6th, and then 2017, and then July 7, and now I'm on the 8th of July, right? So I'm just like telling you right now about the situational scenarios and conversational scenarios that had happened on those dates. So let me continue on the next situational scenario. This Chinese female patient. Okay, I'm just gonna read it first so that I can recall, what happened. Every dinner time, now that I know about this street theater, that they do, her mother comes every afternoon to bring her dinner, as in no single night or afternoon I was there that I didn't see them. So again, my handler knows at that time that I was processing my mother's visa application to come back here in Australia, in Sydney. So another of their situational street theater scenario, psychological harassment. And at that time, my daughter Justine was already in Perth, while Sharon at this housing ward was looked after by the two fake Jehovah's Witnesses. So guys, at that time, um, because they know that I was processing mom's paper to come back here, right, during those times. And every time, every like lunch, let's say lunch and dinner, that one of the Chinese female patient, now connecting the dots, I know that she was a gang stalker, right? So every time, dinner time, they always have to make sure that the only table that is empty is the one where the Chinese lady was on, were on together with the mom. And they always have to make sure that that I see I see it, like, when the mom comes with the food that she brings to that Chinese female patient. So during those times, I kind of like think like like it was, sorry, I'm putting my, that it was real, that everything that I saw at that time were all real, you know. But now, because I know the word street theater, and situational scenarios that they do, it was just street theater. It wasn't real, yeah. So so again, because I am a mind control victim, so at that time when I was like, for them to make me more missing my mom, to make me more um, long for my mom, like, it's just another part of their psychological harassment on me, because that's what they're good at. When you're a mind control victim, if they want to traumatize their targeted individual victim, they have to remind you of the things that you love so much that you don't have. And they have to, like, even the things that you always dream of, things like that. The things that you don't have in your life that you want to have. Yeah? I know that. I will give you one example. My kids, most especially Sharon and Justine, they want to have a cat because we can't have a dog. Like my bogus 007 neighbor, they have dogs. I don't know, because probably they are really mentally ill anyway. That's why they have dogs. Yeah, and but I know that if you live in a unit, you're not allowed to have dogs. It all depends, I guess. But and one time Sharon told me that, oh mom, there was a cat, uh, astray like cat, that, and they always buy cat food in a can, and then I said, just go and feed the cat, and give water. Probably it's another part of their testing the mental and emotional capability of my girls, because they're also mind control victim themselves. And it's the same thing with Justine. She told her sister that there was also a cat, in what's this, abandoned cat in where she works at 7-Eleven. But anyway, guys, I just want to, like, on this particular street theater or situational scenario or street theater that they did, at now connecting the dots, it is very crystal clear to me that they just want me to see that particular scenario, that street theater at that time, because I am missing my mom. Imagine imagine and they know that I was processing mom's paper at that time. I think just waiting for the visa at that time, or yeah, or I already lodged the paper at that time. So they know exactly where to get you emotionally in psychologically, where to harass you. I know that now, dear handler. Yeah. And number three, so that's the Chinese female patient, that was actually a perp with their street theater. Yeah. Every lunchtime, every dinner time, the her mother comes and visit and give her dinner, her food. Okay, then moving on. The female African refugee domestic violence victim was the script. Okay. So on my hang on a second, guys. So on my second night, 7th of July 2017, they then transferred me to a different room where I had this young African refugee, as they say, DV, or domestic violence victim, but cannot speak English. I think I mentioned this last night, guys. Am I correct? Yeah. Now, connecting the dots, it was all a situational scenario by deception and manipulation. And since they know I am very emotionally and very passionate about domestic violence, since I was a DV, domestic violence survivor, myself, they know what will capture my attention. So the funny thing was that the gang stalker roommate pretended doesn't speak English, so that we cannot communicate, of course. Mm. What's this big nappy moment? Background. Okay, okay. What was this big nappy moment? Okay, guys. This is terrible, but I'm going to. This is terrible experience inside, right? So, what happened was, because I wrote down big nappy moment. I was thinking of nappy head root on the YouTube channel, but this one is actually to remind me to tell you the experience that I've experienced, the ordeal inside, right? So there were like one, two, four, six. There were probably 6 to 8 toilets, yeah, in that ward that I was incarcerated. Yeah, there were like six to eight what's this 6 to 8 toilets, right? In all of those toilets, guys, yeah, there was even one toilet at the front wherein there is a camera. They can see you, like they see what I do, like when you make up and stuff like that. Why do you put bloody camera inside the bloody toilet? Unbelievable. Yeah, and I was aware that there was a camera. So if you do your private business, they're watching what you do, everything that you do there. Unbelievable. So there were 6 to 8 toilets in that ward. Yeah. In all of those bloody toilets were all like smelled like, you know, they smoke inside. Most of those patients there, they smoke inside. Cigarette, they smoke. So it really stinks, like really stinks. And they know that I hate I hate smoking. I hate that, you know, that smell, you know. And so because the situation was like that, you know what I did, guys? This is so embarrassing that I'm letting you know. You know what I did? Because I have a bladder problem, right? So I always like and go urinate, you know, every time, like not even a couple of hours and stuff like that. Then I have to go and use the toilet. Frequent urination, but frequent urination and constipation are also symptoms that you are getting hit by directed energy weapon. And also, if you have smart meters at home, okay, I'm going back, get sidetracked a bit, but that's the truth, yeah. But I have a bladder problem. So what happened was, what I did, yeah, I went to the nurse, to the duty nurse that was looking after me and that six of the patients. So, and then I asked, could I please have a nappy? Like, you know, the nappy, what's that in other word? The nappy for babies, but the big one for, the big nappy. The big nappy. So I had the big nappy instead of going to the toilet and pee. That's what I did just to survive because it stinks. It stinks. It stinks really with all of those patients that were smoking. And connecting the dots, they were all bloody gang stalkers. Yeah? Best actors and best actresses. And then every morning, yeah, every morning they have I think before breakfast, like they wake us up like 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, no matter if you're still asleep or whatever, you have to get up and take a shower. You got no choice, take a shower. Yeah, take a shower, 7 o'clock. And then after that, you have to assemble at the while waiting for the breakfast, assemble at the in that lounge where all the patients have to be there. And then there was this one of the patient was like go like, you know, walking up towards the television. And I don't know, maybe. And then one of the patient was like telling me, oh, no, he's schizophrenia, he's like talking to the TV and stuff like that, like, I don't know. And so those, like, they were like telling me those with severe mental illness really at that time. Connecting the dots, they were all bloody gang stalkers, best actors and best actresses with all of their street theater, yeah. So and then they have to brief us in the morning. And then one of the head nurse or the nurse on duty was like saying, oh, you know what, guys, you don't have to smoke inside the toilet, blah 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 blah. That's just BS. She was just like, you know, saying it, but you know, but the script really was to really smoke inside those toilets, so I cannot use those toilets. And just to survive those ordeals, I have, in the evening when I sleep, I have nappy on. That's what I did. And then the nurse asked me, why? Why do you need nappy for? Just use the toilet. I said, no, because it stinks. You know, I can't breathe at all when I smell the bloody smoke. And a lot of times, Hive Mind team, if you are watching me for sure, lots of times you want to stimuli me and sensitize me with people smoking on behind me or whatever. And that's what you do all the time. And to function and survive, I have to say something. Yeah? Although knowing that they're perps. Unbelievable. Okay. So that's what happened on that inside that Cumberland mental institution. The shower, I guess, every time I took a shower, I just had my bra and my undie on. You'll never know. Maybe, you know, maybe they have hidden cameras on the shower. So every time I take a shower, I had my undie and my bra on while taking a shower. Just to make sure. Because my life is a Truman Show, isn't it, dear handler? How many times you've watched me? For sure, you've watched a lot of intimate moment I had with my ex-husbands. Yeah, my German ex-husband, gang stalker, and my second Australian ex-husband, that infiltrated my life. For sure, you had lots of you watch a lot of those intimate moments that I had with them. Unbelievable. Sick people. Pedo would, you know. And you have the guts to fabricate and manufacture all of these lies with your targets, that we targeted individuals, that we are actually the ones that are pedophiles, where in fact the reality is it's you guys, because you know you watch everything that we do, every move that we do. Okay, moving on the next one, guys. Young Caucasian patient next door. Ah, this one. Street theater, one afternoon. Okay. Oh my god, this was terrible, guys. Okay, this was terrible. I don't know. Now connecting the dots. Okay, this young Caucasian, I think she's on her maybe early 20s, like 23 or something, 21, like that, yeah? And she's very beautiful. And she was like saying that that she was there inside because she used to take drugs, illicit drugs, yeah, and she was there for like rehabilitation purposes. That's why she's inside, right? And that's what the story that she told me. And then one lunchtime, after lunch, so every time after lunch we have to, like, I don't want to like go back inside the main lounge and just watch TV. So I want to be productive, yeah, so I just like do some exercise in that open area in the middle, in between the kitchen and the ward, right? So there's an open space area there, and tables and chairs. So one time I was like, I think I was reading a newspaper, and then while reading the newspaper, like, and then I saw this girl, young Caucasian girl, is that she really kissed the other perp, like an old patient inside, like, an old man. And she just kissed him, like, how many minutes they were like lips to lips kissing. And I said, and then one of the Chinese lady next to me, one of the patient, because said, oh, call the nurses, call the nurses. So they called the nurse, and like, they set them apart from each other. Like, oh my god, I was like thinking, so now connecting the dots, what they're trying to imply with me at that time, that I have to see that particular scenario, street theater, that she was kissing that old man patient. Unbelievable. Okay, so those are the things. So in other words, now, because I am a mind control victim, all of my synaptic, emotional, again, respond, all the brain activity, frequency wave, brain waves emissions that was captured, that was measured, that was stored, integrated back to the RNM data of the supercomputer, for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, so okay, moving on. The same, is still the same young female Caucasian patient, gang stalker. Also, sometimes on the 7th or 8th of July, she had a visitor, female family sister or mother, who brought the same blanket that I brought, which that blanket I bought that from Kmart. Okay, so that was later on, and when I saw that, when her sister came, yeah, I saw that that blanket. I said, "Oh, we have the same as my blanket." I said, because on the 7th of July, that was the first 7th July 6. I was admitted in the afternoon, July 6. So July 7, Justine and my daughter Sharon and the fake Jehovah's Witness sister, Miss Taro, came in the afternoon. They brought me my pillows, my water, and fruits like that, and the blanket that I bought from Kmart. Yeah. So this young female Caucasian patient next door, um, her sister or mother came with the same blanket. The same blanket I saw it, right? So so what happened? Okay, I'll tell you why I'm telling you about the blanket. So the date I got discharged was um, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, on the 10th. It should be on the 10th, not on the 11th. So the on the 10th of July, that was the in the afternoon. That was the date I got discharged, right? So late in the afternoon, I was holding my blanket when the fake Jehovah's Witness sisters came with my girls, and then the per patient came up to me and said, "Why are you taking my blanket?" My God! And then I said, "This is my blanket," you know. So now, connecting the dots, they have to come up with that script, yeah, so that they can do that scenario. So that was a situational and conversational scenario, right? So the young patient per Caucasian, and if any one of you from the Cumberland Mental Institution watching me right now that are taking part of this illegal program, for sure you know what I'm talking about. And then she came up to me and said, "Why are you taking my blanket?" Like she was like, you know, have that gesture to take it away from me. And then I said, "It's mine. This is my blanket. I know we have the same. But go and check it in your room." That's what I said. Oh my God, Lord. Okay, so that's what happened. Okay, that was a situational and conversational scenario. Unbelievable. Okay, moving on to the next scenario again. On my first day, the 7th of July, midday, there was this young lady that was admitted. She showed me a patient form, which was this one. This one, I think. I only got this after I got discharged. But legally, this is the form that the bloody intern psychologist and along with the lesbian nurse assistant should actually give me this. And because this form explained the patient rights, okay? This is the form. Okay. So she showed me a patient form which I wasn't given. She told me that she volunteered herself to be there, that she's having a family problem. Oh, I know this one. That her mother is not in good terms with her father. Okay, so this was the conversational situation scenario. She's mixed. Her father, she's mixed. I mean, she's Fijian Australian. Her father was from Fiji, and she was telling me she has suicidal thoughts. Yeah, she was like telling me that, oh, that she's thinking of killing herself, like that. And then I was like telling her, oh no, why don't kill yourself? You know, life is a gift from God. You know, you have to treasure life. And I was like, you know, telling her those advice. And funny me was that I was trying to comfort her with spiritual verses, scripture, and on the same day, her father, per crisis actor, also came and showed it to me. She introduced me and then she said she'll be discharged on the same day because she came voluntarily. So, and then I said, same as mine. I don't know how it got manipulated that the mental institution claimed I was there involuntarily. So she was like telling me, oh, did you like sign a form? Did they give you a form like this? Like, do you know, did you come here voluntarily or involuntary? And then I was like saying, what's the difference with that? Because I don't know. And then she showed me, and then and then I read it. Of course, I came here voluntarily. You know, I wasn't like, because if you went to that involuntarily means to say that, you know, you are forced to go there. And if it's involuntary, you can't go out anytime you want. Yeah, you have to get a court order, like something. If you wanted to tribunal, yeah, that's a tribunal, something tribunal decision. If they want to keep you there for how many days they can. That's the thing with involuntary, you know. That's what they did. That's how they manipulated my ordeal in that bloody Cumberland institution. And also this girl, the one that told me that she's mixed Fijian and Australian, um, and she was like telling me that her dad is coming to pick her up, that on that day she'll be discharged. So she was like telling me she just got admitted because she volunteered to be in that mental institution. Yeah. So so that moment I was already there. I didn't know that I was there involuntarily, you know. That's one thing as well. It was a trick because I wasn't told about the situation, about my rights as a patient when I was there. All I knew was that, all I knew was that, okay, I didn't know that I didn't really know that place was really bloody hell at that moment. So I thought it's gonna be like a hotel wherein I can have a good sleep at night and looked after. I didn't know all of this street theater that they've done to me. That I while I was there, the more harassment I that they came up with. Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. Now connecting that, and also with this Fiji, this young lady, mixed Fijian. I don't even know if it's true that she's mixed Fijian. It's like she was like telling me I'll get discharged today because I came voluntarily, you know. So she was like, it was like for me, and I was just there on my second day. So another like how many nights? 3 more nights. So it's, the the frustrations on my part that I have to be there for another 3 nights. Unbelievable. Connecting the dots, it was all by manipulation and deception to put more fear, anxiety on me with all the street theaters they've shown while I was at that hell facility. Which was true. Let me drink first, guys. Uh-huh. Okay. So moving on. So that was another perp situational and conversational scenario with that perp, and then she introduced me to her to her father, the Fijian father, and of course I got no father. My father died when I was 8, so to probably traumatize me more because my mom, I don't have a dad and she got a dad, like that, things like that. Okay. So the psychological harassment continued when she even asked me if I have my parents in Australia. So I told her my father passed away when I was only 8 years old. Then she told me, I'm leaving this afternoon. My discharge letter is ready. So again, the mental and emotional distress I've gone through at that moment, knowing I have 3 more nights to go. That was horrible, guys. At that moment, on my second day, second night, all I did was cry and cry and cry and cry. And at that moment, that time, I didn't know nothing yet about the fact that I'm actually a mind control victim. I didn't know yet the word COINTELPRO at that time, Global Gestapo, all of these things. All I knew at that time when I was inside that Cumberland Mental Institution was about organized gang stalking, about the method that they use that I haven't even finished reading yet and study well yet. So I didn't know nothing. Just that basic about organized gang stalking, that it is happening, you know. And that time I still have those 4 theories in my mind. Yeah. I didn't know that it's actually the shadow government behind all these things, you know? Okay, moving on, guys. Male Filipino nurse. Okay. This Filipino male nurse introduced himself to me. I forgot his name now. He told me he's the ex-nephew-in-law of Sharon's father, Nick. That he knows Sharon's half-brother, Sean's got a half brother, right? And this Filipino nurse, male, he was there, and he introduced himself to me. I'm Mr. Blah blah blah. Do you know, do you know Shane and stuff like that? Do you know Nick? and that's how it started. And he told me that that the ex-wife of my ex was actually um, his auntie, yeah, his relatives and stuff like that. So again, another conversational scenario, just to see if what more information they can get from me, and at the same time my reactions at the same time. And now connecting the dots, I don't even know if what he told me at that time, that guy was real, was the truth, that he's actually a relative to the ex of my ex. Oh my god, it's a bit complicated, right? Okay, so more of their psychological and emotional harassment. Moving on, guys, the next perp, situational scenario, conversational scenario inside that health facility. It was a Filipina nurse, okay? I think night shift Filipina nurse. This was a situational scenario. I was waiting, let me try. I was waiting for my duty nurse to get me my Panadol. Then this Filipina nurse in her mid-50s, she went inside a room and she was followed by a young Chinese male nurse. Then after 5 to 15 minutes, she then came out first fixing her top button, like showing me they just had, oh my god, they just had, you know, did something inside that room. So this one was actually gaslighting, guys. Okay. So this Filipina nurse on a night duty, right? She was with another Asian male nurse. He wasn't Filipino. He was an Asian male nurse. They let me see it myself. I was waiting. I was on a queue next to that counter where you have to queue and get your medicine. There is a door. The next door is it's like a conference room, you know, like you conference room conference room for the staff, yeah. So while I was waiting, standing there waiting for my medicine, this um old Filipina, like in her, maybe in her early 50s or mid 50s, they showed it to me. Her and the young male young male nurse went. They both went inside that room next to where I was waiting at the counter for my medicine, yeah. And then after like 10-15 minutes, 'cause I was like waiting 15 to 20 minutes, both of them came out. And when the Filipina nurse came out, you know, she was like not half naked, but she was like fixing her button, like showing to me that they're doing something inside that room. Oh my god, guys! So connecting the dots again. They have to show that to me, and I was like thinking at that time, to be honest, the hell, I was thinking at that time, guys, like, the hell, what they're doing inside, what they did inside. I was like thinking that they're having an affair. Oh my god! Since I am a mind control victim, of course, each every synaptic emotional response from my brain, all the brain activity, brain waves, frequencies that emits from my brain is integrated, is measured back to the remote neural monitoring data. That's why if you are a targeted individual and if you are a mind control victim, it is best for them to incarcerate you at those mental institutions, and also, like, in jail and stuff like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. So now connecting the dots, because I've learned the method that they use. That was actually um, partly gaslighting at the same time. Yeah. Gaslighting. So when after 15-20 minutes they came out, and then the male nurse was pretending that he had to he had to fix his zipper to zip up, and then the female Filipina nurse pretending that her, you know, she's fixing her button, her top, like something happened, that they did something inside, just the two of them. Unbelievable, guys. Okay, moving on. 42 minutes. Okay, guys, moving on. The 9th of July. The 9th of July, okay. That morning when the head duty nurse briefed all the patients, pretending she knew nothing about these perps patients smoking in all of the toilets. I already told you about this earlier. As in 6 to 8 toilets all smelled like shit. Again, another form of their psychological and physical harassment. They know that I hate smoking. So in other words, it was all a stage briefing, like how the world we live in. It's all a show. It's all a show. It's just stage. Stage wars in the Middle East. War means business for globalists, Illuminatis. War means depopulation. Stage political theater around the world. Whoever, whichever, whatever political party you support, they're all globalist puppets. They're all enabler of a foreign policy, United Nations called Agenda 21 Global Genocide Depopulation Program. So I've already told you about that. And okay, guys, I don't want to like be rude, but just to really describe you, yeah, to give you the exact description. The next per situational scenario inside that mental institution was this guy. He's a midget male patients. You know, the short guys. Yeah, midget. So the situational scenario. He was acting so aggressive. They called the nurses to give him the shot or the injection to calm him down. Again, for me to see their street theater, to put more fear and distress, gaslighting to their target. So this guy, the midget guy, was like, oh my god, I was like sitting in that lounge, you know, where the patients have to wait and stuff. I was sitting there. Then he was like right next to me, guys. And then all of a sudden he was like yelling, you know. He was like complaining about something, yelling, and okay, I got distracted. My view here is distracting me. Okay, guys. So he was like yelling and stuff like that. And then he was like kind of acting like he's going to have an epilepsy as well. Yeah, like he's gonna like. Oh, I think actually he did, and I was like, and then he was like punching the couch, you know, punching the couch. He was yelling, screaming, and then so like and then those some of the patients were like saying, oh, call the nurse. Yeah, so they called the nurse, the one that is the one that in charge with that guy, with that midget per patient. And then they give him the shot, the injection to calm him down. And I saw everything. So now connecting the dots, those weren't real. Those were just for me to see, for me to to traumatize me more, to put more fear in me and worries, to make me more depressed and stressed. Yeah, that's what happened, guys. Unbelievable, with all of their street theaters. I don't know how much talent fee they had, these patients, gang stalker actors and actresses there at that time. Okay, guys, moving on. Indian young male patients. Situational scenario, street theater, where I called the nurses. Indian young, okay, I know this one. I think he was Indian. Indian young male patients. For situational scenario, street theater, where I called the nurses because he was kicking the glass door and walls. I was a bit terrified because he walked back and forth to where the glass door was. And every time he walked past me, I was scared he might do something, knowing he's mentally ill. Connecting the dots, he's a crisis actor, perp, gang stalker. Again, by manipulation and deception. So at that time, this Indian young male patient pretending to be aggressively mentally ill. Actually he got admitted not on that day, the day before that. So it's on the 8th that he got admitted. Yeah. That's like, like now connecting the dots with all of their situational scenarios in street theaters, with their crisis actors, pretending to be patients and stuff like that. So this Indian guy, per male patients, he really kicked the door glass very, very aggressively, very, very strong. And I was like worried, oh my God, what is he? Oh my God, can somebody call the nurses, please? Because he might, he might, the glass might break or something like that. And I was scared. I don't want to like go near him. And I was like sitting on the edge of the lounge of the that sofa, and what he was doing, like he was walking, like I don't know the term for that, like back and forth, he walked past where I was sitting, and then walked back towards the glass door and kicked the glass door again. Walk, and so I was like, I was like terrified. I was so terrified that, oh my goodness, he might like come and punch me, or throw the the chair on me or whatever, because oh my God, Lord. So again, connecting the dots, guys. It was all street theater, okay? It was all situational scenario for them to put more fear in me, to make me more anxious and distressed, seeing all those things. At that time, I didn't know nothing about street theater yet. So for me, all the things that they did, those street theater that they let me see, for me, those were real. Unbelievable. This is just unbelievable. Yeah. And you know what happened after I got discharged? The fake New Zealand JW sister, Miss Kiwi, told me that she saw that guy in Granville. Okay. So when I got discharged, the one of the fake Jehovah's Witness sister, the Miss Kiwi one, told me that she saw that guy. That guy was already discharged. The following, the day, the following day, I got discharged on the 10th. So on the 11th, she told me that she saw. So why was that? Miss Kiwi had to tell me that. And then I was like thinking, what? I was like thinking at that time, how come he got discharged? He was very, very mentally ill patient. Like, he can't control his anger. He can't control himself, that he had to kick glasses and stuff like that. He had to yell. And they actually even put him where I saw it a lot of times, guys. That mental institution in Cumberland, in that ward where they put me, they had this, it's like if you are in jail, they have to put you in the, oh my God, in Tagalog, Bartolina, oh my God, in an isolated prison cell. It's just you and no lights, and you only have one small, window. Yeah, it's an isolated cell. It's the same like that. Like they let me see how five people, five nurses went to tackle him and calm him down. They put a straight jacket on him. I saw everything and put him inside that cell. And they were like, and then I heard everything that they were like saying that, oh, you're going to sleep there tonight until you behave yourself. That's the only time we'll let you out. And I'm hearing everything. Now connecting the dots. Those were just street theaters. More of their street theater situational scenarios in street theater for me to see, to make me more anxious and distressed, And I was like thinking at that moment that everything was real, were real. Yeah? Unbelievable. So that was like another one. Then Miss Kiwi told me, oh, I saw that guy, the one that you told me that they put in a separate cell because he was aggressive, blah blah blah. He got discharged. I saw him in Granville. Now connecting the dots. Yeah, It was all part of the script for them to probably get my my again my what's this, my reaction to that. I actually saw one Caucasian male patient also. This is terrible. I actually saw one of the male patient, I forgot his name, inside the mental institution at Wentworthville Mall. And probably the hive mind team probably, okay, do this. She's going to the to Woolies. Let this guy walk past her and stuff like that. Let them, like, you know. And I saw him. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because at that time I was already thinking that, oh no, because that time I already know that it was all, you know, it was all scripted, you know. And I ignored him. I didn't greet him or anything. Unbelievable. And the sad thing about this, guys, if this the sad thing about this program, if these perps, let me drink first. The sad thing about this program, guys, if is that these people that are being used and abused, I mean, most especially those perps that, I don't know, like they're drug dependent, and they have to, at the same time they are mind controlled. I feel sorry for them. It's really sad world that we live in, that these people with that they use their power to abuse people. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, I can understand you are experimenting on us, me, mind control victim, on us who are normal, who haven't done anything, no criminal records and stuff like that. We are the one you're experimenting on. I can understand that. But for you to use and abuse people that are mentally ill, that are drug dependent, that's aggravating the circumstance that you're doing. I can't. That's beyond being a narcissist itself. You know? Unbelievable, guys. Anyway. Okay, now moving on, guys. So that it's already 52 minutes. The subheading, the psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker account, conversational and situational scenarios by manipulation and deception. It was on the 10th of July 2017. I was expecting to get discharged before lunchtime, but I know now for sure that everything was intentional, deliberately manipulated. Oh, excuse me, guys. It was already around 2 to 3 p.m. when the psychiatrist and the intern psychologist finally called me inside their office. At that time, the two fake Jehovah's Witnesses were there, Miss Kiwi and Miss Taro. And that was the day my daughter Justine came back from Perth. So while the three professionals, the medical COINTELPRO, were there, plus the two fake Jehovah's Witnesses, myself and my girls, Justine and Sharon, were all listening to the senior psychiatrist with his medical COINTELPRO. Um, yeah, what was it? Questions such as the following. So, I said buddy. Okay, because one, I think, yeah, the intern psychologist is actually, I think he's gay. Yeah, he's bakla. So, they have the questions such as the following. Can you remember anything? Oh, okay. This was when the date on the 10th, before I got discharged. So, my appointment was 11 a.m. It ended up 2 to 3 p.m. Yeah, so I waited for 3 hours until I got to see the senior psychiatrist that is in charge of my release, that I get discharged on that day, right? And also on that date, that was the time that my daughter Justine came back from Perth from the wedding. Yeah. So So the two fake Jehovah's Witnesses were there, along with my girls, yeah. And there was one social worker, and the senior psychiatrist and the intern psychologist, all together inside that small room, wherein I was asked again by the senior psychiatrist, and he asked me this question: can you remember anything about your childhood? Was your father a good father? Those were the questions. And I said to him, doc, I said, doctor, my childhood was great. It was great. You know, I belong to a poor family. My father and my mom were not rich. When, my father passed away when I was 8. But my childhood, from the day I was born up until my father passed away, died, got killed, got murdered, I say, there's no problem. I had good memories with my father. My father was a good man. Only the time that he's not really good was when he's influenced by alcohol. When he drink alcohol and drink too much, that was the time that he is not himself, because he was under the influence of alcohol. That's what I told the doctor. I don't know what he's trying to imply there. Because, as you know, I don't know what he's trying to imply at that moment, why he asked me that question. But that's what I told him. My childhood was good. I was never, a victim of any sort of incest, taboo, or anything. Okay, if that's probably what he's trying to imply. Okay. So the second question was, are you hearing voices when you're alone? Oh my God! Wow, perfect for the entrapment, huh? He asked me that question, the second question. Are you hearing voices when you're alone? And I said, no. Why should I hear voices when I'm alone? Yeah? I said, no. Now connecting the dots. Because, and in fact, guys, to be honest, because nothing. I'm not hearing any voices anyway. So it's a no-no. And even if I am hearing voices because I am B2K, let's say I got illegally implanted with RFID, microchipped with V2K. V2K means they've implanted you with a microchip in your ears, and that's why you're hearing voices. But you don't need to have V2K and microchips to hear voices now. They have the technology. Okay, I'm telling you this, guys. Okay. Um, when was it? I think on when my mom went my mom flight, that was October 27, yeah. So I dropped them off there. I wasn't really, in all honesty, I wasn't really like in good terms with all of them, Mom, Justine, and Sharon at that time. Because when we dropped them off at the airport, Mom, I had just a bit of issue with Justine because she drove the car. I said, "Oh, Mom, can I drive the car to the airport?" So I let her. But since she wasn't listening to my instruction, she should. So that's how it started, that we had an argument. I usually adjust myself. I don't talk back on Justine when I know that it's her artificial intelligence talking, when I know it's not herself, because she's a mind control victim. So I usually shut up and don't say anything. I adjust because I know about the technology, right? I don't know, at that moment, I was just so upset myself. So we ended up, I said, pull over and I'll drive the car. So that's what happened. So when I dropped off Mom, I just left and went to Bronte. That was the time I was on my own. But I said goodbye to them, knowing I was like actually crying. I was actually crying while driving. I went to Bronte and I was like saying, oh my God, Jehovah forgive me. I'm naughty. Maybe, because it's kind of like it hurt more if it's kind of like it hurt more that she left and then we are in good terms. So it's kind of like it is more better, like we're not in good terms, and she left. But actually, she called me while driving, twice, and then I said I'm driving. I'll call you when I get to Bondi. So when I got to Bronte, and then she said she's already on board. Yeah, she already boarded the plane, and they're leaving in 20 minutes. And then I just said to her, "I love you, mom. Sorry that I left. I'm not in the mood. You know what happened with me and Justine." And that's all right, she said. And I just said, "Just call me when you arrive in Manila." So that's what I said. So that happened. And at that time when I was in Bronte, I actually cried for 1 hour, guys. It was an hour crying, just crying, sobbing, crying. And I think I had my earphone on, like one ear or both of my earphones. I was listening to music. But I don't know if it got captured. But while I was driving, crying, I didn't have my earphone on. So maybe the supercomputer, of course, measured, captured, measured, integrated back to the remote neural monitoring data of the supercomputer. So what I'm trying to say here is that Justine, Sharon told me, she said, when I called them that I was in Bronte, and I said, do you want to come here? But they said, no, mom, because we already bought the ticket online to watch a movie, because she's watching a movie with their sister in the city. So, and then Sharon told me, "Mom, we actually thought that you came back." And I said, why did you say that we came back? Oh, hello, Ro. Hi, Ro. I haven't seen you for a while, Mike. Thank you. So, so what happened, guys, was my daughter Sharon said, "Mom, we actually thought that you came back. And why did you say that? We heard your voice. Mom, Justine, and I, we heard you said, Sharon, Sharon. It was your voice." No, I wasn't there. I left. Now, guys, connecting the dots, okay? I am not saying that my girls are not microchipped, because there is also a possibility that even though they're not microchipped, without the microchip, they can do that to them. Because their brain is digitalized, they're mind control victim, and they have this technology, um, like 2 yards apart, I don't know, like, it's, let's say, 500 meters apart. They can use this technology, and they can my own voice, like, if they have the recording of my audio recording of my voice, and even if they don't have, they can copy my audio, the recording of my voice, and they can use that audio voice, Sharon, Sharon, like, and even on the phone, I said Sharon. So they can use that one and play that voice, that I said Sharon, and that will echo, and then they will receive it. They'll receive it, that they heard it. Okay? Because my girls and my mom, they're all mind control victims. They are mind controlled, absolutely, definitely. I know that. So so now, guys, going back to the senior psychiatrist question to me, are you hearing voices when you're alone? I said, no, I'm not hearing voices when I'm not alone, because in fact, which was the truth anyway. I'm not hearing voices, okay? So probably that even, for me, that even, what's this, it's like an evidence for me that I'm not microchipped, that I don't have any RFID V2K, in my ears. When I say V2K, guys, remember those Iraqi soldiers, less than 2,000 of them surrendered to the U.S. Marines, because they were V2K. They've heard voices. Kneel down, and kneel down, your surrender to the U.S. Marines. This is your God, Allah. That's what they've heard. Because those Iraqi soldiers were illegally implanted with V2K. Yeah? That's what happened. So I said, Imagine if I told, let's say, imagine if I told the senior psychiatrist that I was hearing voices. He's gonna tell me I'm bloody schizophrenia. And now I've done a bit of research on schizophrenia. You get schizophrenia when you're young, not when you're in your not when you're in your early 40s or mid 40s. Absolutely. Okay? You get this schizophrenia when you are like in your teenage years or early 20s at least. You know? Unbelievable. And then he said he will refer me to a okay. So after that question, and then he said to me, he will refer me to a community psychologist that I have to see once a month. I'm gonna tell you a story about, I went to see the community psychiatrist once. I decided to go. I went once in Maryland, yeah. But I said, I'm just gonna go anyway, just for once, and that's it, you know. So I did that. I'll tell you the story about that as separately anyway. So the third question that the senior psychiatrist asked me, do you feel suicidal? Do you have thoughts of hopelessness and harming yourself? Those were his question to me. And then I answered the questions. You know, I answered the question. I said, no. Why should I harm myself? Why should I kill myself? Why should I commit suicide? I am a Jehovah's Witness. You know, life is a gift from God, Jehovah, so I have to treasure that life. Why should I? The only reason, again, going back again to what I said, you know, um, my fear was that at that time I was thinking that this Filipino group of Filipino gang stalkers will come and kill me because of my affiliation to what I was doing with the radio at that time. I was doing the what's this, the BBM recount and stuff like that. I have a segment wherein it's about politics in the Philippines. So I thought at that time that they will come and kill me here. That those were my thoughts, you know. And connecting the dots, it was all bloody street theater, most of it, and you know, by manipulation and deception. So that's what I told the senior psychiatrist, right? Okay, question 1. Okay, I already answered that. Question 2, are you hearing? Okay. So those questions that I was asked by the senior psychiatrist, those were leading questions, yeah? Leading questions that will entrap the target. So imagine if you are dumb and know nothing about what you're saying and know nothing about, you know, let's say you've heard voices and then you just said, yeah, I'm hearing voices. My goodness, what will happen to you? You know? Unbelievable. Okay. Um, okay, just because I already said this one. And those questions, by the way, guys, those questions were already asked by the the intern psychologist. Yeah, on that date where I got on that date where I got involuntarily said admitted, which I wasn't told anyway. Yeah, those questions were already asked by that intern psychologist. So I repeated my answer. Okay. Mm. Okay, guys, because I'm reading what I already said, so I have to skip that. Okay. Okay. So after I told, the senior psychiatrist in front of the social worker and the intern psychologist, and in front of Sharon and also the fake Jehovah's Witness. Okay. While Justin, the funny thing that I noticed was that the Miss Kiwi, the Jehovah's Witness, the fake Jehovah's Witness, had to ask Justine to go out and look for the car where she parked her car. Right. This is the date where I got discharged. July 10, 2017. I was thinking, why ask Justine instead of asking the young one, Sharon, so that at least Justine is of legal age. She can witness what is going on there. Like we're, conversing, talking, discussing the things about me, about myself, right? About the patient. So, again, another part of the script that Miss Kiwi, the fake Jehovah's Witness, Miss Kiwi, had to ask Justine that instead of Sharon, Justine should stay back because she's the one of legal age that can witness the ongoing conversation at that time, right? I'm just like wondering why, you know. Okay. So after all of those medical COINTELPRO conversational scenarios, he then suggested, like he cares for me, the senior psychiatrist, to develop my skills, whether cooking, gardening, yeah, sewing and stuff like that, and that they're going to give me the referral letter to see a community psychologist once a month. Okay? I only went to see this community psychologist in Maryland only once, and that was it. And actually, I even got a letter from the psychiatrist from the Wentworthville Medical Center that I have to. They followed me up on email, letter, and also on the phone. If I still wanted to see that lady psychiatrist at Wentworthville, and I said no, because those time I've already read a lot of information about medical co-interpro, and if you're a targeted individual, they will incarcerate you. They have 5 goals, remember, for the victim to become jobless, homeless, incarcerated in jail, mental institution. Number 4 is to isolate the victim from family and friends. And number 5 goal for them, to make the victim commit suicide in their wildest dream. Okay, I already said this 100 times in all of my YouTube videos and Facebook videos. I will never ever kill myself. If I am found dead in this housing ward, that's because I got murdered by the CO contractors, okay, by the Australian Security Intelligence Organization contractors. And if I am found dead in any hospitals nationwide in Australia and even outside the country, because I got murdered by the contractors of the Australian Security Intelligence Organization, who are working hand in hand with all the intelligence agencies around the world. Okay, most especially the Five Eyes countries. That's the fact and that's the truth. That's why as a targeted individual, our health is very, very important. We have to, because I have a Medicare card, but I don't get the same treatment as these gang stalkers getting. You don't get those medical treatment, like fair medical treatment. All they do is harass you psychologically and stuff you up. That's what they do. I don't know. Imagine if I didn't know about medical COINTELPRO and I went ahead with my colonoscopy, um, because I'm having problem with my constipation, and I didn't know that, what causing my constipation. It comes and it goes, because that's the time when I get shot by their terrorists above, below, adjacent, next door. Who knows where is that gun, laser gun coming from, with their directed energy weapon that they use, and the long-term exposure of this housing ward, the smart meter. For sure, my meter here is a smart meter. You know, Unbelievable. So guys, going back to that scenario, the discharge date where in the afternoon, where the senior psychiatrist was like telling me, okay, do you love cooking, gardening, like that? And I was like saying, yeah, I love singing as well, and stuff like that. Like I went with the flow, but I know what's really going on. You know, I only went to see this community psychologist in Maryland once. The reason was when I started my online search on organized gang stalking, that it is actually linked to COINTELPRO, that OGS used as a tool by the shadow government, and more of the Ella Free podcast show. During those times, guys, this was July, so this was like what's the date now? July, August, September, October. So this was like my God, 12 months, 16 months. In July, I was like listening to Ella Free podcast show. You know, Ella Free podcast show. Most of the targeted individuals, they have this conference call wherein they have to tell their story, how and when did they found out that they are actually targeted individuals. In those times, I've watched a lot of Dr. Catherine Horton and Ramola D reports, Dr. John Hall, those videos. It helped me a lot, guys. So, but I went anyways, but I focused on what had happened with the Filipino community, and after that, I never went to see him ever again. Okay, I was referring to the community psychologist. I only went once. Oh my God. I can't remember the community psychologist in Maryland. He even asked me a question if I had a boyfriend. Yeah, he even asked me that question. Probably to, I don't know. And then I said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Instead, I was busy gathering more info about OGS, COINTELPRO, how to deal with it. That I'm actually a targeted individual. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, guys, I just wanted to like, targeted individual, what's the difference between a targeted individual and someone that is blacklisted? Okay, sometimes guys, like, you know, when I don't know. It's like when I explain to my relatives or to my friends. I don't know if they're those friends that I'm not sure if they're gang stalkers, right? That I'm not sure if they're part of the paradigm. Sometimes when I like explain the difference, um, targeted individual, I say I'm blacklisted for them to like because if I say targeted individual, they don't grasp it, they don't get it. So just to simplify, I say blacklisted. But actually, there's a big difference between a targeted individual and being blacklisted. If you are blacklisted, because you are blacklisted is a person that is truly blacklisted because they violated laws, particularly if they're involved with illegal activities, and most especially terrorism activities, right? But when you say targeted individual, these targeted individual, 99.9%, are innocent citizens of the world. I say so because this is global. Counterintelligence program is global. Yeah. Targeted individuals, most of us are innocents. Yeah. No criminal records. We're the caring, kind-hearted, loving people that you've experimenting on. So if you and then you know, I've also learned that targeted individuals are also targeted based on their beliefs in bloodline as well at the same time. And since if you are a mind control victim, this is to if you are a mind control victim targeted individual, the purpose there is to map out your brain, to map out your emotion, intellect, and will of the target. So if you are a targeted individual, and let's say you are a bad person, they will reverse engineer that. They will make you good. So they have all of these types of program that they can put you onto. So let's do this to this guy. He's really a bad guy. He is you know, he's a criminal, blah blah blah. And the hive mind team now will do something to make that person a good person. They will put that person into that program. Yeah. And that's what they've done to me. They want me to hate all the things that I love. They probably think that I'm going to become an atheist, that I'm going to curse my Bible. Yeah? Yeah? I'm not dumb. My God gave me free will. The free gift that God gave mankind is our free will. Free will means to know what is right and what is wrong. That's free will. That's your gift, right? That's your moral compass. That obviously, those behind the COINTELPRO got nothing. They don't have moral compass because, I don't know. They are mentally mind control at the same time, and they are motivated with money, greediness, and stuff like that. So, anyway, guys, so the discharge date, that was the discharge date, right? Okay, I'm just gonna, so this was the form about the, before I'm going to let you listen to the audio now. This was the form that I wasn't given on the day I got admitted. Yeah, it was the responsibility. I need to find out which under act for them that they are responsible to let the patient know about the rights of the patient. Yeah, that I was there involuntarily or voluntarily, that I wasn't given this form when they, you know, manipulated that I got admitted in that bloody Cumberland mental institution. Okay, guys, and this was so when I went to see 17th of July, that was the time when I went to see the community psychologist in Maryland's, Dr. Kipal. That was only once, for sure, of course. And guys, this one as well, from the Chinese doctor, gay doctor, Chinese in Westmead Hospital, who took I don't know how many liters of my blood that day. He also gave me this letter for MRI. MRI, like to have the MRI done. Yeah, but I did not went, of course. Dr. Andrew Doggins to see that guy, but I didn't see. Okay, what else? And my last cervical pap smear was in 2015. So I haven't had it for 3 years now. About that's pap smear, cervical. Maybe, maybe they wanted to know if I already got the cancer. And this one, Auburn. This was January, February, March, April, May 28. Oh, this one, I was given, this is my exhibit. This was the name of this, they did prescribe me this one, Accet, Accet Mirtazapine, 15 mg. I did not drink all of this shit. Yeah, all of this shit that they want to give me. Because for sure, it make me more cuckoo. They said that if you take this, it will calm you your anxiety, it will calm you down, blah, blah, blah. Unbelievable. All of the thing. You know what, guys? If I only got money, if I only got money, I want this to be tested. If I only got money and found someone for toxicology, whatever report, if they can just check this, what is the content of these pills. Unbelievable. If I only want. But, how can you do that? Okay, I'm going to show you now I'm going to let you listen now to the audio evidence, guys. Okay? Oh, no. Before, okay, I will let you listen and then I will read the discharge report. This one, okay. Anyway, I'll let you listen now before I discuss. I think it was here. Okay, hang on, guys, hang on. So this was the after I received the actually 10th of July I got discharged. I received the letter, the false report letter 1 week after I got discharged. So I received this report on the 17th of July. And this was the audio evidence. I called the intern psychologist because it was a false report. Okay, where is that now? Hang on, guys. Why it's all Superman on my list. Ah, there you go. Okay. Can you hear it? Can you hear it, guys?
Hello, yeah. Hello. Yeah. Doctor, Dr. Bal, how are you? Dr. Bal, how are you? I'm good. How are you doing? I've never been good, better since I left there. But your voice is breaking. I can't really hear you properly. No, what I mean to say, I've been good. I mean, yeah, since I...
Can you hear it, guys?
The hospital, I've been good with follow up with psychologists and medications like that. But I'm only calling you in relation to the letter that you, the discharge letter, you put something there that I was suicidal, and that's why, which is not, which is... You are not now, but when scaring you had, so I just... No, it is, no, no. No, when you interview with the initial interview with Lynette, I never admitted that. You asked me and I said no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's all I'm asking, Doc. It just that glitched on that report that... Yeah, if you don't worry, your report does not go to anybody. It just goes to the doctor. That's why we don't give the report to the patient or the family. Yeah, but that one is a false report because you put on the initial interview that I admitted that I was suicidal. I wasn't at all. I never said that. I said no to you in front of Lynette. So that's all I'm asking, Doc, to remove. I don't think I can go back and change it, and it is as the report on the day one. But don't worry, it's not going to, like I said, your report does not go to anybody else. Like it does not go to, that's why, we have privacy and confidentiality thing here. Your report does not go to anyone. It only goes to your healthcare provider, which is your GP. Yeah, but with that report, can I cross that out then? Because I didn't, that one is false when you, because it was, yeah. Well, look, it's not false. I think on that day we talked about it, and you did mention that occasionally because of the stress that you have. No. I did not occasion. But it's okay if you don't have thoughts now. That's fine. That's why I said I didn't know. You asked me if do you have suicidal thoughts, and I said no. That was my answer. I never admitted to anything that occasionally. There was no occasionally though. Yeah, okay. So I have to. Anyway, how does that affect? What is the how does it affect you now? Well, with that letter only, like I was reading the discharge letter because I didn't really have time to read, and then I read. Yeah. So I called my friend Meli and said, "Oh, how come Dr. Barrow put this one?" And I said on the initial interview, I told him I'm a Jehovah's Witness and we trace your life. I'll speak to Leonard, right? And we'll go through the notes again, and I'll see what's in the notes, and I'm not sure if I can change it now, but anyway, it's with your GP, so it's yeah. It doesn't really matter. I'm not sure why you're quite worried about it. I'm just worried about the report because that report can make me think that people might think or police might think or... No, look, that's what I am. The report does not go to police or it does not go to... Yeah, but all I want is for... Or not even anyone. Can I get your email address, Doc, so I can email it to you and you can change it? Look, I haven't changed it in your email, but yes, how is it going to make difference? That's what I need to know. No, I'm just trying to... I'm worried about it because it's a false report. That's all. Sorry? It's a false report. It's not a false report, Percy. No, Doc, you said there that I can read it right now. Here, it's in my hand. You said that it is made from the notes available on the system from your admission. Yeah, there was no admission that I am suicidal on the initial interview. I never said that. Okay, I never speak with Leonard and we'll talk about it. I never said that. I never said that, Doc. So that's all I'm asking for you is to remove that sentence that says I was occasionally delusional. How about now? How are you now? Are you suicidal or are you? Oh no! You're really stressed out. Oh no! Because you sound very stressed. No. I'm stressed about that report because it was a false report. That's all. But Doc, I'm just joking. I never been better. You're not stressed about it, okay? Yeah, it stressed me out that report, Doc, and I called of my friend told me that, you know, Mele, the one that was there with my daughter when we were doing yeah, I called her and she said, why did you write that? Because, you know. Yeah, because you may not remember, but you did say that. No. Your question, I remember, Doc. Your question was, are you delusional? And I said occasionally, but not with the suicidal. That's my argument is the suicide because I never had thoughts of killing myself. If ever I die in the hospital, Westmead or Cumberland or inside my home, that's a foul play because I will never ever kill myself. Okay. Yeah. So look, anyway, now you're well, you're fine. So my question is, why are you worried about it? I'm worried with what you wrote there because that's a legal document, Doc, and that is incriminating myself, and that is like that. That's like I am. Why should I agree with that? Because I didn't say that. I didn't admit that. That's all I'm asking, Doc, please.
That's why they didn't let me have my phone.
Yeah. Medical records. Yes. So see if you can get a copy of the record. Yes, please. And if you could email me the new one, please. Removing that suicidal. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. I'll see what I can do. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Barat. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, that was my conversation with the intern psychologist, Dr. Daval Barrett, okay, who did the initial interview when I got admitted at the Cumberland Mental Institution. He, based on that conversation alone, he did a lot of gaslighting onto me, and also, you know, during that interview, he had that Lynette assistant at that time. I was on my own. They took my gadgets. I didn't have a phone where I can record the conversation because they knew that I'm gonna record it if I had my phone at that time. And I never admitted to whatever he was like saying. He wrote in this discharge report, false report, that I was delusions and I had suicidal thoughts, which I did not admit at all. Unbelievable. See? See this medical COINTELPRO, how they have to come up with all of their bull crap, yeah, to entrap the targeted individual, because I am a mind control victim. If they can put me in the mental institution, they can do anything, everything that they want. They can legally kill me inside. These assholes. Unbelievable. A false report. And then he said, I will see what I can do. And he never get back to me. He never replied on my emails. I was waiting for him to send me a new report, you know, deleting that, what's this, that particular word, sentence that says that I was delusional and that I had suicidal thoughts. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, guys, so that's how it ended, my 4 nights ordeal at the Cumberland Mental Institution. Ay, nako. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just too much. I'm just wondering, like, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, you know, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer. Let's say you want to become a nurse. To save lives. To bloody save lives. Okay? That's why you want to become a doctor. To bloody save lives. Not to kill covertly. Not to kill slowly, covertly, those innocent Australian citizens, innocent people around the world. Okay? That's your job. But because you love money, I don't know, too much. It's just like, it gets me right now. It's getting into my vein right now, because I just think of those people. It hurts me inside. How many Australians were murdered by this program covertly, without their knowledge? They just died covertly, without their knowledge that they're targeted individuals. life insurance policy fraud. Yeah. Unreal, guys. This is unreal. Like, you know, like, if you are a candidate, you are a targeted individual, mind control victim, and this mafia cartel working hand in hand with the mafia inside these government departments, yeah, they need money. Oh, let's do this, you know. They will just have to come up how to kill that target in order for them to get their 1 million, 5 million life insurance fraud. That's how it works. That's why I'm gonna get my insurance. I'll make sure that when I get murdered by this program, no one of you can get a single cent over my with my the life insurance fraud that you put on my head. I'm gonna get my own life insurance and pay for it and make sure that my children will get it on the day that this program murdered me. Not you, mafia cartels. Unbelievable. I just can't fathom anymore the logic there that these people doing all of these illegal activities, really enjoying all of their mansions and their Mercedes Benz and traveling the world, all at the expense of innocent people. I just can't. And then they probably think that they're not going to die. They probably think that their bosses, Bill Gates, Rockefeller, Rothschild, will not die. That their politicians, deep states will not die. That these shadow government, intelligence agencies, whoever, will not die one day. We will all gonna die one day, guys. We only live once. And if you do it right, once is enough, right? That's a saying. It's just like frustrating. It makes me sick and it really hurt because, like what I said, how many innocent Australians were murdered by this program covertly without them knowing? And then they put life insurance policy fraud in each of those that they've murdered. I don't get it anymore. When is it gonna end? You know, when? Anyway, guys, so that was my medical COINTELPRO. Um, what's this? The ordeal that I've experienced, how my incarceration in that Cumberland mental institution was manipulated. Okay, that's the account. So that's all for now, guys. And next time I'm going to discuss Justine, my daughter. She's a mind control victim, and she's going to Japan in 17 days time. So I already said it again, I will say it again. Anything bad happened any of my children, to any of my girls, you are responsible, Australian Security Intelligence Organization. And my daughter Justine told me that they're not going to stay in a hotel. They're going to stay in a Airbnb, whatever is that. Well, am I correct? Yeah, they're gonna probably rent just one house with 5 rooms, whatever, along with her 6 male friends and 1 female friends. That I know they're all gang stalkers. Okay, I know. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. She's gonna be in Japan for 2 weeks without me. So anything that you want to fabricate, anything that you want to manufacture against my daughter, okay? Anything that you want to do. And don't you dare putting any drugs on my daughter's suitcase, okay? Don't you dare. Don't you dare using my daughter as your, what you call this, as your, like, you know, like sometimes they do that. To transport their goods, okay? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. That's what you do. To transport their goods, whether it is drugs or lots of money or whatever. I told Justin to do the plastic her, what's this, her suitcase when she goes and when she comes back. Anyway, guys, That's all for now, and support our independent media, okay, guys? Crowhouse.com, Mr. Max Egan. Um, his latest post on his Facebook wall, the his opinion on the on the recent incident, in Melbourne. I'm not buying that stuff, that crap. That's for sure. That's just a stage. It's bloody fake news again, for sure. Too much of their fake news. I don't get it anymore. They have to stage their news, right? Their fake news, and throw their narrative again, so that they will divide us again, people. Yeah, they will divide us on political issues, on economic issues, on social issues, on bloody race issues, on bloody culture issues, on bloody religion issues. Yeah, that's what they do. So to divide and conquer us, okay? To mislead everybody and think and focus on those bloody shit crap fake news, where in fact the problem is they are poisoning our air with chemtrails. Those are the real problems that this Luciferian prostitute mainstream media, 7, 9, 10, ABS, SBS, Sky News, whoever news, are not talking about, and they're not covering. Instead, in fact, they're covering it up. Okay, those are the real news. Why don't you put that in your bloody headlines on tabloids, huh? And also in your news. Those are the things that you have to write. Those are the things that you have to put on your news, to broadcast on your news. Not these things that divides the people, and then they have to. Again, it's the immigration issue. It's the Muslim issue. Bloody bullshit. You're poisoning our air with chemtrails. Geoengineering, illegal surveillance in Australia, with your sophisticated, smart meter. Smart meter alone is a surveillance device. That you know how many times I switch on my kettle. Those are the things that you have to talk about and put in your headlines. Mainstream prostitute media. Unbelievable. Fluoride on our tap waters, GMOs on our foods, okay? Vaccinating kids and whatever, what is the content of your vaccine anyway? Nanotechnology, yeah? Oh, too much. It's just too much. Anyway, guys, that's all for now. That's all for now. And Max Egan, Sir Max Egan, crowhouse.com, and go on to his Facebook right now, and you will read and watch that article about their opinion on that recent news, what happened with the Victorian police, where they shot the guy that they were claiming a terrorist guy. Yeah. What is your SOP if you are a police? Standard operation procedure. If the culprit, if the suspect, the criminal, got a knife and he wants to stab you, and then you said surrender, and he did not surrender, bloody shoot the leg. Yeah, why do you have to wait for him to snap out and stab you, and then you shot the bloody guy? And where is the cadaver anyway? Was it real that he died? When is the funeral? I know it's going back. Sorry, guys. It's just frustrating, this world we live in. It's just too much wickedness, really. I can't wait for Armageddon to come. I hope Armageddon comes soon. I just really hope. It's just too much wickedness. I don't get it. Like, it's too much. Like, and then when you think about those stage wars that they do in the Middle East at the same time, poor young children, families, men and women getting killed with their propagandas in all the name of their depopulation program. Unbelievable. So guys, Max Egan, and if you wanted to know more about 5G cell towers, thefullerturninformer.com, guys. Sergio Embriano. And if you wanted to know more about mind control, DOD whistleblower Brian Chu on Facebook and also on YouTube. Okay, until next time, please support my Twitter account, Targeted Individ 6, and my new Instagram account, Targeted Individual Australia. Until next time, guys, I'm going to the next time that I'm going to I will do first Justine's mind, because she's a mind control, so I will stick on that topic. Why is it that I know that my daughter is a mind control victim? And then after that, I'm going to continue my connecting the dots. The part 1, part 2 is already done, so I have to continue my connecting the dots from 2002 onwards. Okay, how my life was manipulated. Okay, guys, so that's all for now, and signing off. God bless everyone. And guys, for those who are like, I don't know, because this is live, and I earlier there were some messages. Thanks, guys, but I don't know, I can't see it on the screen. God bless you all. Until next time.